Hello. Hi. Welcome to my channel. This channel is called the Oriya channel, where we talk about overall wellness. Okay? Overall wellness. And the words you speak, the light you exude, and the power you have is all within you. That's why we say your word, your light, your power. It all comes from within. And today we're going to talk about how clothing can uplift your self esteem or how clothing cannot lift your self esteem. Let's get right into it. So, when I just got to give a little example first. When I was a young adult, I wore like sweatpants and I wore t-shirts and or sweatshirts. I grew up around boys. Okay, let's just get that out there. I grew up around boys. I was the only girl for a long time. I climbed trees, raced in the middle of the streets, and I just did all kind of stuff with the guys, with the little boys in the neighborhood. And so I guess I dressed that way. My mom said when I became a young adult, she was like, I need to take you shopping because you need some dresses and you need some skirts. So I said, okay, so I went, I picked out this bad. I mean, it was when I tried that bad boy on, I loved me myself. It was a bad skirt suit with a jacket to it that matched the skirt. You put on a white blouse up under it with some nice shoes, pumps. When I walked out, I tried it on in the fitting room and I walked out and my mama said, now that's my daughter. I was like, what you mean? I've always been your daughter. She's like, honey, now you representing me. So my mom was a diva, okay? She dressed to the nine every single day. I don't care if it was casual. If it was a sweatsuit, it was a casual sweatsuit, name brand, okay? And she was tough in it, okay? So so people do form an opinion about you based on what you wear. Okay, I got some notes here that I have in my electronics, and it says that clothes do, they, like I said, they shape first impressions, right? So, and people form those opinions within seconds. Isn't that something? Within seconds, they form an opinion about you based on what you wear. I can't help I grew up around all boys. Oh well, hey, and look, now I have two boys. My uncles who were I have an uncle who's a year older than me. He has two boys, and my grandmother raised two of my cousins boys. My older son has two boys. My husband has three brothers and one sister. So her and I, we talk. It's like well, we know. she's she can fix stuff around the house. She can do the garden. She knows what to do. She just grew up around boys, and when that happens to a woman who grows up around a lot of boys, then you tend to, um, know how to do things, whereas people who weren't raised around boys know how to do. But anyway, well fitted, intentional clothing exudes confidence, credibility, and self esteem and self awareness. So if you're wearing clothes and they're fitting good, they're not too tight, but they're well fitted, and your jacket is not too big or oversized, even though I know some women wear oversized coats, the big puff go coats. It depends on what you're wearing for that day, because you wear them with jeans, or you can wear them with the high heel tennis shoes and a nice tank top underneath that jacket or something. That looks good, when it's oversized. But if it's like, let's say you have on a suit jacket and it's too big, your arms are, the jacket part is like way down here. and you have on a suit, and you have on a pantsuit, and maybe the pants are too big and they're dragging on the floor, even though you have on heels, you know, you might want to get that tailored up a little bit. Okay, I'm just saying. Also, on the other hand, ill-fitting, uh, intentional clothing, um, or careless clothing, should I say, breeds insecurity. Well, it tells about the first impression, insecurity, disinterest, or lack of discipline. Lack of discipline. You know what that makes me think about? Unironed clothes. Men will do it in a heartbeat. They will put on a suit and it needs to be ironed. What is wrong, men? Iron that suit. Take it to the cleaners. If you can't iron it, as a matter of fact, don't iron it. I take that back. Take that suit to the cleaner so they can properly iron it. Okay, because if you iron it, or if anybody else iron it, even your wives or your girlfriends, they'll have that iron imprint on your suit and on your jacket. And honey, you don't want to walk out looking like that. You'll have to go get a brand new suit because that is not cute. Okay, don't come out with unironed clothes, please. That says that you are careless, you don't care about yourself, there's lack of discipline. Um, it just says I don't care, and maybe sometimes you might not. You know, you know it's your preference, but I'm just saying what first impressions do to a person. You may be brilliant, but if your clothes don't reflect it, people will never get close enough to find out really how brilliant you are. And you could be. That just reminds me of my husband. He wears overalls a lot and work boots and a beanie hat, and he'll wear it 24/7. And, you know, he's a brilliant person, very smart, has a lot of wisdom, but people might not get close enough to him to find out how brilliant he is because of how he dresses every day, and that's just what he does, comfortable. But when he dresses up, baby, he dresses to the nine. He look good. I'm just saying. But some people, that's just what they want. It's just their comfort zone. But if you're going out on the town, you might want to switch that up a bit. Or if you're going on a business trip, or if you're going to a business meeting, you're going to meet with people for the first time, you want to make sure that your clothes exude confidence. Okay? You want it to be a reflection of yourself, a good reflection of yourself. Okay, um, so clothing does affect your self-esteem and your behavior too. You notice, ladies, talking to the ladies now, when you put on a pair of heels, you walk different, don't you? Excuse me. Your stride is different. You walk a little different. The hips move a little more different when you have on heels, right, than when you have on tennis shoes or, sandals. So it does exude confidence. It makes you want to, it's like, hey, I'm a lady. I have on my skirt suit, like I was talking about earlier with my mom. And you look good. Your hair is done, and things are looking great, and all that. And so, what you wear doesn't just affect how others see you; it affects how you see yourself, which is true. So I'm just looking at my notes again. Structured, polished clothes can make you stand taller and speak with authority. True that. Because I remember I was hosting an event and I had on, it was a cowboy event. And I had on this dress, this skirt. No, it was a dress. It was so cute. And I had on a hat. And I had on some boots. They weren't cowboy boots because I didn't know no better by at that point. But honey, you couldn't tell me nothing. I got on that stage and I talked and walked that stage like I own that stage, baby. And I talked to the crowd and I got the crowd going and they looked at me and they were like, "Yeah." I mean, it was fun. I was like all in my feelings. I was all in that. I was like, "Yeah, this is my lane right here." It was, but it was because of what I had on. And for some reason, psychological, it happens. Because if I had on jeans and a t-shirt and some tennis shoes, I probably could have did the same thing, but would have gotten the same reaction from the crowd. I don't know, depending on the crowd, right? If you're going to talk to businessmen and women at a conference, you definitely want to dress up and look nice and have your clothes being fitted with the right colors. Colors matter. You might want to look that up on Google or ask Chat GPT. Structure polished clothes can make you stand taller and speak with authority. Sloppy or uncomfortable clothing can lower the motivation and energy, which we talked about in the room. Can do that. This is called, they have a name for it, enclothed cognition. Mm. When clothing influences mindset and performance. That's what it means. Enclothed cognition. Okay, now listen. Clothes communicate identity and value. Creative styles, creative styles tells the story of imagination, freedom, and boldness. Okay? Minimalist styles can exude or tells a story of clarity, focus, and intention. Professional styles tell the story of discipline, ambition, and leadership. So there you have it. Creative styles, minimalist styles, and professional styles. Minimalist styles could be jeans, could be, a nice blouse. Actually, you can wear a nice blouse with a nice pair of jeans, honey, and some nice pumps and still look good and still have that energy, because it's also in your personality, and you see your smile, right? And some of the right clothing can open doors for you too. You never know. So in many spaces, appearance is the silent gatekeeper. So true. Because listen, I've walked out of the house with some jeans that were dirty because they are the ones that I use outside in the yard when I am playing around in the yard. And then I had on a t-shirt, like a white t-shirt or something. And then I had on my not Uggs, what do you call those? Oh, I can't think of Crocs. I had on my Crocs. And then I had on this big overcoat where the zipper didn't even work. The zipper, I don't know what happened to that zipper. Anyway, then I had on a beanie hat. And I walked and I had a ponytail. And my ponytail was hanging out the back, and I had on my glasses. I don't think I had on any earrings, or maybe my other earrings. Anyway, and I'm walking out, and I'm looking, and I'm walking into the store, and I'm tired. I probably didn't have nothing on my face. I'm tired. I'm walking in the store, and people are looking at me like, "Oh gosh, what does she have on?" This is not the regular person because this is a store that I go to all the time. And so, I'm like, look, I'm tired today. Don't bother me. You have those days, right? I just came to get what I want to get and I'm headed right back home. Okay. So, certain clothes grant access to opportunities, respect, and trust. Others may invite judgment, stereotypes, or dismissal. It's not always fair, but it's real and it's true. I don't know, it's not always fair, but it is real. It's just what happens. You can say, I don't care what people think about me or what clothes I kind or what clothes I wear. Yeah, okay, fine. But see how far that gets you when you go for an interview. Or see how far that gets you when you go for an interview and your shoes are dirty. Because they're looking at you from head to toe. They're looking at you because they want to see if you'll represent the company correctly. So you might want to rethink that statement. Wearing something just because it's popular but doesn't suit you can weaken your presence. Intentional dressing is self respect. Clothing is not vanity, it's presentation. Mm. When you dress with intention, you say, I value myself, I'm aware of my presence, and I belong here. Let me say it again. When you dress with intention, you say to people, I value myself. I'm aware of my presence and I belong here. Mm, yeah, we're going to let that sink in a little bit. Bottom line, clothes don't define your worth, but they frame how your worth is perceived. When aligned with your personality, goals, and environment, clothes can elevate you. When careless or misaligned, they can quietly hold you back. There it is. There it is. So, what you wear matters, no matter what you think. What you wear tells a story. What you wear is important. The colors. I saw a video on YouTube about senior women dressing in these different bold colors. And I got so super excited. I said, oh, yeah, I'm going to get me some of this color, and match it up. And honey, it just gives you confidence. It helps to lift you up. Like today, I have on, this is burgundy. I know it kind of looks orange on the camera. And then I've got these earrings that are I ordered from I forget where I ordered from, but anyway, you probably see it better on over here. These earrings, I love these earrings. They have blue and red and beige in it, and they hang down. And usually I don't get earrings this long, but you know, I gotta try different things. I'm getting older. I'm in my 60s, like I keep saying. I'm not ashamed to say it. And so I don't want to look like an old woman. I'm just gonna say it. If I'm gonna be an older woman, I want to look refined. I want to look intelligent. I want people to see me and say, I like her attitude. I like her mood. I like her presence. She's not judgmental. She helps you. She's focused. She's I don't want people to look at me and say, "Oh, she's old." No, my mother wasn't like that. Her mother wasn't like that. My great grandmother wasn't like that. My great grandmother wasn't like that. And so this is on my mother's side. I don't know about my father's side. I know that I have aunts on my father's side who are just fabulous looking, and they're way in their older age, and they look good too. So hey, I got it on both sides. So I can't let the family down. I can't do that. I'm not gonna be the one, okay? Not me. Anyway, I want to thank you for joining me today, where we talked about how clothing can affect your self-esteem and intention. So I hope you got something out of today's episode. Thank you again for joining me. Don't forget to smash that like button. Don't forget to comment. Talk about some clothes that you wear. What kind of clothing would you wear? And do you care about the clothing that you wear? Do you care about people and what they say about the clothes that you wear? If you do or if you don't, then why? Let's talk about it in the comments, okay? I want you to share this video. Not only that, I want you to subscribe because we have lots more conversations to talk about when we talk about this overall wellness about ourselves. Okay. All right. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Yay.